like they were doing something. And the game was really short, and I don't know. I really liked it. It was super nice. I'm gonna try this. The Monster Inside, an audiovisual novella by Random Seed Games. My head pounded, ears still ringing slightly. Some of the worst nightmares I'd had in years left me feeling like I had been punched in the jaw. But just like any other day, I dragged myself to the office. So, can I interact with anything? There was another notice on the door from Mayor Vinetti's office. Permits out of date! They didn't like me much and were trying to drown me in paperwork. Is he a lawyer or something? It was a slow month. Weeks since I had any real case to work on, so I passed the time pacing the office, smoking and staring at the mirror in the corner, safely covered with an old bedsheet. Did I clear what? My chat disconnected, so I have no idea what you're talking about now. Outlast, maybe? I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about now. It was a slow month. Oh, I already read these. Outlast 2, yeah, I actually played it. Yeah, I did. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it. The videos are okay. They're not great, but, like, they're viewable, I'd say. Outlast 2 might, yeah. I don't dare look at my own reflection. I'm too afraid of what I might see. Afraid someday I might have to face what I really am. The girl came in so quietly I nearly choked on my cigarette. Mister, please, you gotta help me, mister. Oh, I get to pick things. So should I... I think I'm gonna go for like the... Also, welcome back, Mystery. Super nice of you to bit me earlier. It was my first real outside donations. The donations I've gotten so far are from friends, so you're the first one. It means a lot to me. Big thanks. Okay, so I'm gonna be kind of a dick, because that seems to fit the character. You ever heard him knocking first? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. That's alright. Sit down and tell me your tale. She eyed me with just a dash of suspicion as I tossed back a handful of pills and chased them with a swig of whiskey. I could tell this might take a while. Her name was Lily. She told me she was his mistress, the man all over the newspapers, the infamous banker, Mr. Reginald Farnsworth. Nobody likes Reginald Farnsworth. Yes, you're awesome, Mystery. You've done so much for me. So much already. You followed me, you're my 50th follower, and you're my first bit donator. That's awesome. Super awesome. Also, yeah, you have the bit thing. That's cool. I added the bit icons because, like, why not? I added all of them. So if someone gives me one bit, they're gonna get that little tiny little cute icon. Mr. Farnsworth was a drunk, philandering bastard. Philandering, I don't know what that means. But this girl seemed genuinely concerned that he had recently gone missing. Less concerned about the fact that Mr. Farnsworth's wife had just turned up dead in a Central Park 2 nights ago. You don't understand. He just couldn't have done it. He hated his wife, but he couldn't have killed her. Everyone thinks it was him and no one believes me. He's gotta be in trouble. Well, case looks pretty simple to me. Well, Mr. Jack. You can just call me Jack. Jack. Whoever did that to his wife must have been one of those who took him. He would have never left without me. He promised me. I'm sure Mr. Farnsworth promised this poor girl a lot of things. Please, the cops won't listen to me, and they want to bring him in on charges. You gotta prove it wasn't him before they find him. Honestly, I doubt they are in too much of a hurry. Farnsworth had practically the entire police force in his deep pockets. Probably why they hadn't found much yet. If they found him and brought him in, it would be due to public pressure. Sometimes a mob with pitchforks is more dangerous than one man with money. Let's see here. You've got my curiosity, but you might not like what I find. I can help you. We'll get to the bottom of this. Don't you worry now. So I'll go for this one. I'll be skeptic of her story. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jack. Thank you. But please, be careful. I don't think this was just any murderer or kidnapper. I think it was a monster. A beast. Beast? The word struck me funny. Like when you jar your elbow in a hard corner. Oh, a shedding stud. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be cool. I'm a terrible actor, just so you know. Okay, I'm gonna go full hardcore here. Not a word many use these days. Except in hushed whispers and bedtime stories for children. I'm trying to be cool, damn it. But I'm not cool, so it doesn't come off great, I think. Oh, they were real enough, alright. They just got better at hiding, controlling their unseemly urges. But I hadn't seen any monsters in nearly 15 years. Back when I was still a cop myself. Well, that's definitely an interesting theory. I can help you. We'll get to the bottom of it, don't you worry. Well, that's the same line as before. Leave the detective work to me. Let's not jump to conclusions here. Bonk. I have a feeling about it. Something tells me you can get to the bottom of it. You're good at this sort of thing. I don't even know what I look like. There's no one here. There are two chairs having a conversation. You're a true artist. That dark, sexy voice. I don't have a dark voice, I think. Like, I wish I had one. I wish I had one, but I don't. It's just that I'm tired. Sure. Can't you see how busy I am with cases? Wow, the sarcasm, dude. I replied a little too harshly. Sarcasm wasn't my strong suit. I reassured her some more and sent her on her way. I didn't want to scare her, but I warned her before she left to keep her doors locked and called me if she saw anything suspicious. Get a whiskey, yeah. Okay, let's do this. I didn't know if she was in any danger herself, but better safe than sorry. Like, it just sounds forced if I try to speak deep. That night, I made my way down to the Central Park. It was a long shot, but maybe there was something there the cops had missed. So are they in New York? Next chapter. So yeah, if you're like playing this by yourself, then it's gonna be real quick, I think, if that was one chapter. The scene was already picked clean by the cops days ago, but I've got a knack for finding things others overlook. A knack? More of a symptom of a condition. Other, less useful symptoms I keep in check. But for the time being, my keen sense of smell would come in handy. So is he a werewolf? Is that what he is? Like, they talked about beast, monster inside, and he has a keen sense of smell. It was faint, but I could smell it before I even approached the police line. The scent was less of a thing and more of an emotion. How can you smell emotion? I don't think that's possible. Seduction. Okay, it's perfume. A strangely familiar smell. I expected the scent of trepidation or maybe even outright fear, but Mrs. Farnsworth seemed to have been at the height of pleasure when she left this world. Wow. Wow. Brought a new meaning to a crime of passion. Punishing the thought from my mind. Punishing? We don't punish thoughts. Pushing the thought from my mind, it was time to get down to business. Investigate the scene. Muddy footprints everywhere. Difficult to pick out anything from the prints the cops left behind in their haste. So there are bees there. I guess I can... Oh, I have to click next before I can click something else. But cops don't wear $2,000 pairs of carquinos. No idea what that is. Let's see what happens, Sherlock. I think I'm right. I think I'm gonna be right. It looks like Mr. Farnsworth was there that night and walked away on his own 2 feet. Investigate the scene. So, yeah, werewolf. Look, that was a werewolf, like, scratch if I ever saw one. A burn mark on a burn mark on a nearby tree caught my eye. Okay, so maybe not werewolf. I ran my finger along its length and felt a chill down my spine. This wasn't just any burn mark. This was the mark of an ancient magic. It's doubtful the cops would have picked up on it. Could Lily have been right? Something unnatural was at play here. And I heard a noise. Oh, thank you, Joker. My buddy hosted me with one viewer. Thank you very much. So, okay. Apparently I need to improve my voice acting a ton. So this is good practice. This is great practice. Okay, so give me feedback on the voice acting because I want to get better. But I was no stranger to the strange. After looking around for a while longer, I realized the park had given up all it was hiding from me. So I trudged back to my apartment and my head hit my pillow like it owed me money. Wow. Wow. Chapter 2. We're gonna get there. We're gonna solve this crime. The next morning I was reeling from another bout of ghoulish nightmares, but I tried to hide my discomfort when I saw Lily was already sitting outside my office. Wow. He really cares about Mr. Farnsworth. Was that his name? Great news, everyone! I have solved the crime. Was that his name, Farnsworth? No. No. She waited wordlessly as I unlocked the door and ripped down another notice from the mayor's office. I motioned for her to step inside. Seemingly afraid of what I might say, she finally worked up her courage to ask. So this guy is a private investigator, and since the police is all bought and paid for, like, maybe that's why they hate him. Everyone and the mayor. Jack, just call me Jack. Was that the bad line? Where I tried to sound cool? Oh god. So what did you find? Well, I've got some good news. Farnsworth might still be alive. Not sure about bees, but something unnatural was at play. Might be right to worry about monsters. Found a spell's mark. So yeah, do I want to go like batshit crazy and call out spells? Yeah, I have enabled so that I can see when people host me. I might remove it if it makes people uncomfortable, but you know, maybe not. Unless everyone starts hosting me, because then it's going to be all the time. I don't know, we'll see. So we're going to go with the unnatural was at play. A bit calm, a bit chill, a bit spooky. Unnatural? How do you mean? Okay, so this is a supernatural world. A spell's mark. Rarely seen these days, but unmistakable. What does that mean? What about Reggie? Do you know where he might be? Who's Reggie? Tell me who's Reggie. Found his footprints. Seems like... Oh! Yeah, Reginald. That's who it is. Found his footprints. Seems like he got out safely. There were signs he was at the scene and slipped away. My tone was indifferent towards her as I turned and grabbed a bottle from my desk drawer. A dryness in my throat made it difficult to swallow my meds. But don't you know where he went? Do you think the news this morning is related? What news? What news is that? Haven't you heard? Yeah, maybe you should tell me what you know. Yeah, we're going for that. We're gonna be a bit snarky. They found the police chief's wife dead down by the docks. They say it happened last night. Let me guess. Chief Amato is missing too. My face might have betrayed a hint of satisfaction as she confirmed my suspicions, but it faded quickly. Amato was a shit cop and a shit chief. He was half the reason I left the force, but now his wife was dead and I had more questions than I ever did the day before. The gears in my head started spinning, which wasn't helped by the splitting pain in my temples. I told Lily I need time to work, and she left me slightly dejected, wanting more answers than I could provide. So Lily seems like a nice lady. She cares. Maybe she's a witch though. Maybe. That night, after the cops had cleared out of the docks, I would slip down and see what I could uncover concerning Mrs. Amato's untimely demise. Chapter 3. Done and cleared. So this is chapter 4 then. The cold air smelled strongly of salt and oil. And, could it be that smell again? Like someone had bottled pure arousal and used it as perfume. It hit me like a long forgotten memory, but the sensual fumes soon gave way to a rush of adrenaline. I knew exactly what the scent reminded me of, and that scared me more than not knowing. I looked down at my hands shaking. The nightmares, the headaches. Dear God. No, I was better now, reformed. I had to focus, not jumping to conclusion. Follow the evidence. Investigate the scene. So there's a chain. And there's a something. There. Just there. The smallest piece of purple fabric. Torn and caught in the splinter of a board. The police report didn't say anything about Mr. Yamato wearing purple. And it was certainly of a quality that you wouldn't expect down here. Don't see too many high society tapes floating around royal purple threads. A woman issue, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah. Joker hasn't seen it, I think. Maybe he sees the now, like the emote. Red Phoenix cigarettes. Same shitty brand I smoke every day. Everyone's got their vice. I pulled out my own pack of Reds and lit it up. I could already feel another headache coming on, but looking out over the waves seemed to help me forget. So I guess he's the murderer, right? He loses his mind at night and murders everyone. Oh, and he disliked both of the people that was kidnapped as well. So he probably punished them and put them in his basement. I'm on to him. I'm on to him. The cold helped me push down the uncomfortable thought that had been bubbling on top of my brain. Next chapter. Here we go. I honestly don't remember the walk back to the office. Apparently I spent the night in my easy chair. The air from the docks lingered on my clothes. I was still dark out. No. I checked the clock. How long had I been out? Had I really slept through the entire next day? A newspaper was sitting under the door. As I stood to fetch it, I nearly fell over. A wave of nausea hit me like a ton of bricks. I have a killer mind. Yeah, I'm a murderer. I am the murderer here. I steadied myself and regained my composure. Before I even picked up the paper, I could already read the headline. Breaking. Mayor missing. Wife found dead. Two cases is a coincidence. 3 is a pattern. The cops would come asking questions soon. They knew I had a history of antagonizing all the victims. I stumbled to my desk and slammed back 3 days worth of inhibitor pills. I couldn't take any chances. I had to investigate the scene to be sure. I threw on my jacket and went to the door. Lily caught me off guard on the other side. Jack! Where are you off to? I've been trying to reach you all day. I've just been busy. I'm off to Mrs. Vinetti's crime scene. That's where I'm headed. Whew. Okay, but we need to talk when you get back. Stay safe. I will stay safe. She gave me a soft kiss on the cheek as I rushed off. Part of me wanted to say and tell her it would be okay, but it would be a lie. Like, is she into me? Chapter 5 complete. Here we go. It's getting exciting. And yeah, the art style is really nice. I love these, like, cutouts of the areas. And the music is nice. Like, all the sound design is pretty good. There's no clashing audio and there's no, like, peaking or... Like, everything is pretty nice. The alley was located just behind the high-rise apartments where Mayor Vinetti and his wife lived. I could tell the police were spooked now. Oh, sorry. I could tell the police were spooked now. The crime scene was even sloppier than the last. They hadn't even bothered to submit the trash into evidence. So, yeah, I'm gonna look at the car first. Vinetti's car. If he's still alive, why wouldn't he have... why wouldn't he have left in his car? It didn't make any sense. I honestly wasn't too motivated to find him, but the stakes were too high. And my bet was edging towards the unthinkable. Why would they at least look through the dumpster? It seemed untouched. No one wants to do the dirty work. But I know how to find the good stuff. It really doesn't take long if you know what you're looking for. Lightweight bags usually mean someone was dumping documents. If you were lucky, they didn't bother to shred them. Okay. Yeah, the music is really nice. And I actually like the game because it kind of reminds me of LA Noire, which I loved. It was great. I played it on the PlayStation 3 though, so it wasn't like, it was kind of buggy sometimes, but it was so great. Your favorite noir jazz? I'm expecting a YouTube link, but I'm not getting it. Jackpot! Shell companies. Shady stock trades, bribes. I knew Mayor Vinetti was crooked, but this was unbelievable. And there was more. Letters between Mayor Vinetti and Chief Amato, talking about me? How they were trying to get me shut down. They didn't like me snooping around crime scenes all the time. Well, they weren't here to stop me snooping around this time. As I searched around for anything that might assuage my fears, I caught the scent again. It overwhelmed my other senses with undulating pleasure. It was intoxicating. A weapon used on the weak-willed, a weapon I knew all too well, though it had been many years since I had used it. Dear God, what are you linking? I will check it after the game. I think we're pretty close to finding out who the killer could be. Was there another smell? Was there another like me? Was I being framed? It wasn't possible, was it? I was taking my inhibitors. I was reformed. But the nightmares, the headaches, the memory lapses. I couldn't even trust myself. I started walking back out the alley when something shiny caught my eye. Ooh, shiny. A watch. Not just any watch, though. My watch. Oh boy. How long had my wrist been bare? Surely I just dropped it when I first came down the alley. I checked the time before I left the office, hadn't I? Or had I used the wall clock? I couldn't be sure. I couldn't be sure of anything. So I ran. Oh boy! I don't know why I ran back to the office. The cops would probably show up any minute to knock on my door, or knock the door down and cart me away. They'd put it together before long. Maybe it would be best for everyone if I simply faced my own reflection. But Lily was still there waiting for me. Jack, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. My own ghost. Come back to haunt me from the past. You're not making any sense, Jack. Come sit down. You don't understand. You're not safe around me. I took a good last look at her as I prepared to shove her out the door. I noticed she was wearing the same thing she had when she first came to my office 3 days ago. A beautiful purple dress! Odd that I hadn't really noticed before. But it made her seem out of place. Out of time. And was frayed around the edges, torn in places. Oh God! My chair caught my fall as my knees failed me. It was you! You're the monster! Succubus! No, Jack. We are one and the same, you and I. We're both monsters. I'm simply more honest with myself. There's no such thing as reformation. Those pills you take only make you dull. Beasts like us should never suppress our true nature as you have, Incubus. So, Incubus, is that a male succubus, I suppose? I don't know. Succubus. Succubus. I think I said succubus, but succubus, good enough, good enough. Those men were probably dead too now, I figured. She probably took them to her lair and harvested their seed. Well, that's dark. I mean, maybe not dark, but it's interesting. So you've done all this just to wake me up? You could say that, though it seemed enough to just have you doubt yourself. You believed you were still capable of such horrors, which means deep down, you probably are. You can't escape it now. Now I need you to complete the deed. You took my watch. Messed with my head. Oh, don't act like I didn't do you a favor. Those men hated you and wanted you gone. And now they're gone. I mustered the strength to stand again, moving casually to the window by the corner. There is no window by the corner. Is it this corner, maybe? Like, or here, or here. She was right about one thing. I was dull. Weak, compared to her. If I refused her and she attacked me, I was a dead man. I had to keep her talking. I've never met a sucky boss who seduces and kills women. Oh, please. Such a 14th century stereotype. I don't discriminate when it comes to pleasures of the flesh. Well, but I do still need an incubus like yourself to take the tainted seed I've harvested from those awful men and plant it among the fertile masses for me. I'm tired of draining my lovers just to survive. I'm ready to settle down and start a family. That maniacal laughter. I positioned myself carefully, making sure she was looking at my direction. Sorry, but I'm not your guy. With a quick flick of my wrist, I whipped the old bedsheet off the corner mirror. Lily was blinded by her own reflection and sucked into the mirror with a painful, monstrous scream. Trapped. Shielding my own eyes, I pulled the revolver from my desk side, aimed it at the mirror, and fired. So I wasn't the murderer then. Ha! It was her all along. But I was right about the monster inside. But that was pretty obvious, like, considering the game, or the name. That was actually kind of nice. Like, slow-paced, story, cool music. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So I'm gonna have to Google incubus. I don't know. Incubus. All I get is a band. Oh. An incubus is a Lilin demon in male form who, according to mythological legendary traditions, lies upon sleeping women in order to engage in sexual activity with them. Okay, it's female counterpart for succubus, so that was it. So I was right about that. I was right about something. That's all that matters. I wasn't completely wrong. And I spit all over everything now when I talk. Yeah, it's nice. It's like a very